Hey guys, okay, so this is going to be part two, and this is something I'm not submitting to my professors. They're obviously looking for a very particular and very specific format. They're looking for a very specific output in regards to our utilization of the AI. That previous video, if you've seen that already, that's exactly what that is. That is me giving the professor what they want. So, with that being said, now let's actually get into it, shall we? So you have these smaller modular AI agents, right? We have Google Notebook LM, which is supposed to be, kind of a smaller, more specialized productivity AI, if you will. The point of it is you feed it documents and letters and just data dense packets, if you will. For example, you could feed it, like, if you had the PDFs of all of the Dungeons and Dragons books, right? You could feed it all those PDFs and it would boil down and distill and condense all that information. And you can come up with useful little things like mind maps that like break down, the information into like further like subclasses and things like that. You can like make flashcards and like, it gives you productivity outputs of the information that you fed it in. And so, in a lot of ways, that can be really, really useful. And it just depends on your particular use case. But the thing that I kind of wanted to get into is the problem I hit in the previous video, and I didn't really talk about for this exact reason, is the limiting factor of these AI agents. The more famous one, right? That at least that a lot of developers are talking about right now is OpenClaw, and these these modular AI assistants and AI agents that you can basically task with just about anything, so long as you properly prompt and you properly set it up with the proper context beforehand, right? So, uh, the joke about OpenClaw that I find funny, and I can't speak to this personally, I really can't. I'm still a student in class, so it's not like I'm actually like out there working for Intel, actually coding I/O drivers for Intel's, new Alder Lake CPU. That's not me. I'm not that guy. So I can't really speak to that. But what I've seen out on the internet and out on, the landscape is that a lot of people are saying like, a lot of people are using these, but a lot of people aren't really using these, if you get what I mean. A lot of people, the joke right now with OpenClaw in particular is that the big number one use actually is that everybody's buying a MacBook Mini to sync their iPhone up with OpenClaw, and because it's a Mac OS system, and it's because it's utilizing Safari, it allows OpenClaw to get past CAPTCHAs and like those security parameters on different sites and different software programs a lot easier. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are literally just using OpenClaw as like a remote assistant to just like catch missed emails and missed text messages and relay them back to them. Like that's basically it at the end of the day. And yet again, if we go back to like my particular use of Notebook LM, I was able to like make a mind map. I was able to make some flashcards. I was able to make this pretty comprehensive and really good study guide. This was actually pretty quality stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all just text. The second I started tasking it with actual like imagery, I gave it an infographic prompt, and it took 3 hours and then blew up. And it's still, here we are 8, 9 hours later, and we're still going on the video generation. So that obviously failed as well. Like, the problem with a lot of AI in general, right, is that the computational demands of AI are exponentially increasing the necessity of compute. And and I mean, we're literally watching this right here, right now, live in action. Look at the economy. look online at social media, just look anywhere. I mean, you could literally read about this in your newspaper right now. People are struggling to buy computers. RAM prices have gone from $200 a stick all the way up to $1,500 a stick. Oh my gosh, the video overview generation just finally failed. Clock it, boys. 8:35 p.m., literally 9 hours later. Anyways, not to get on that tangent. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous the amount of compute necessary for something like Notebook LM to have probably honestly achieved that video generation reasonably. I mean, only God knows what it did manage to generate in those 9 hours. It's obviously nobody can say. And it's really the tentative problem of AI right now. The problem is that we don't have enough compute, we don't produce enough compute, we don't manufacture enough compute, and there's not enough. Like, the demand for compute is so asymmetrical. That's what's like really screwed about it. And it's not even just like simply like, well, Elon Musk is out there buying 10,000 GPUs to slap into his Grok XAI. It's not even just enough of that. It's the fact that like there's this inherent like inequality barrier that's literally being built in real time. And it's basically the haves versus the have-nots, but it's the knows versus the know-nots. If you know about AI, if you know about compute and IT and actually getting into this passion, this hobby, this activity, if you will, right? This is you right now. This is you. You're buying Mac Minis and GPU clustering them. You're out there crypto mining. You're out there, you are farming the AI bubble. And you're probably actually making money doing it. That's the crazy part, dudes. People are making very stupid money right now, doing very stupid things, and it really doesn't. There is no actual barrier of intelligence here. Okay, there really is not. If you can plug a metal box into a wall, okay, then you qualify. Congratulations, right? Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. But the thing is like, these people are literally making themselves into millionaires overnight. Meanwhile, the layman is just sitting there like, oh my God, AI's the death of the world, and we're all going to die, and it's just going to all explode, and we don't have any privilege or right. And it's like, yeah, of course you don't, because you never gave any of this shit a fucking thought. Like, I'm sorry, but you did it to yourself in a lot of ways. And I'm not trying to just like throw people under the bus and say like, oh, yay Jensen Huang, yay Elon Musk. That's not what I'm trying to say here, okay? But I do want you to recognize you're not innocent, just like they're not innocent, okay? Nobody's innocent in this, right? You could have learned, and they could have not done what they've done, or they're doing right now. It's a shit show on all sides, and even if the bubble pops, right? Even if this all goes to shit tomorrow, the sad reality is that there are still enough people who made their mark. There are still enough people who clustered their GPUs and their Mac Minis to where they can come out of this and still do something with that. But you know why they can do something with that? Because they've spent years learning how to do something with that. Like the joke, the old joke, right? Is, oh, just learn to code, right? Just learn to code. Just learn to code. And unfortunately, there's, as much as that's turned into a meme, and like obviously software engineering and programming aren't really viable industries to get into for careers or job finding these days, that does not mean that this is all hogwash. There is still a fundamental intrinsic value to all of this. And the fact that you're not taking advantage of it right now, you are actively griefing yourself. You are actively harming yourself by not being a part of this, by not messing around with OpenClaw. And even though OpenClaw can't really do a lot, unless you're literally clustering Mac Minis together, unless you're doing that, you're not going to really get a lot out of it. But the knowledge you learn, the experience you gain from messing with that is so powerful, so impactful. And as these bigger AIs, as the Chat GPTs, as the Groks, as all the big boys, start to, take over, right? There's at the same time there's this bigger call for not just these big, massive LLMs. Oh, excuse me. But there's a call for a lot of these smaller agents and smaller, more niche, more modular forms of AI that allow you to do more specified things, more uh, you know, more kind of like technically uh, sided things in a very niche, very specialized way. But you're able to do it a lot better because that's the only thing you're focusing on. That's the only thing you care about. And this is the future. This is literally where AI is going. Even if the bubble pops, right? What the bubble's going to take out is the LLMs. It's going to take out the big boys. These modular little guys, OpenClaw, these aren't going anywhere, my friends. These are not going anywhere. And you know who's going to be the guy who really benefits from all of this when the bubble pops? You know who the guy is who actually makes $1 million because the bubble pops? Is this asshole right here. This asshole right here makes $1 million because he's got his own independent, self-reliant, self-running system. And he's able to do a lot of really powerful and potent things with AI. And because he's spent the time to get the experience and the utilization of the technology, he's going to have such a leg up on his competitors and other modular AI agents that he's going to be able to run circles around a lot of his competition. Now, does that automatically make him a winner? No, not necessarily. Life's a funny thing, right? But with that being said, it's crazy to me to watch this play out in real time because, yet again, man, there are people who are just in the room just to take up air, and that there are people who are literally just making themselves into billionaires overnight. And it's crazy. It's so crazy to watch. And this AI agent stuff, when done right, is very, very potent, very, very powerful. You can see a lot of really, really impressive projects that people are doing right now with things like OpenClaw. But you got to go looking for it. It's not out there because, like, when you go tell CNN, when you go tell MSNBC this stuff, right? When I explain this stuff to Fox News, you think Fox News wants to go and tell the boomers about this? No, hell no, dude. Hell no. Fox News knows their audience. Fox News knows their demographic. And they know that ain't none of those people fucking paying attention to this. And if those people are paying attention to this, Fox News has nothing to say to them. What is Fox News going to say to this 80-year-old boomer who's already been in this industry for 37 years and has been doing this for 37 years, you know? Like, there is absolutely nothing of value that Fox News can add to that person's life. Just saying. And that's where we're at with it, you know? That's where we're at with it. So, it's interesting. It's interesting to see the modularization of AI because that is a major natural evolutionary shift within the technology stack itself. We started with these big, massive programs, and we got to the point where they were like, generating, generate a cool, mosaic, like abstract space image, right? And like, we got to a point where like these things were doing some pretty cool stuff. Like this was pretty nifty, man. And from a technology standpoint, dude, I'm burning a fucking gallon of water. like as fucked as that is, right? This is where we're at with the technology, right? This is exactly kind of the pinnacle, the peak that we managed to hit. I mean, there it is. I don't know. Do you think that's good? I'll leave it up. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So there we go. There's that. But anyways, the fact that we got a technology to be able to do this, that in and of itself is pretty impressive. But we're realizing now that you can't just lock all of this under one massive monolithic unit. That not only bogs down the technology, but it bogs down the organizations and the businesses that are trying to utilize it as well. So instead, what do? Well, simple. Break it up, delegate it, disseminate it, turn it into 20 different little AI agents that can all do different things a little bit better than the other, but, that's the point, right? And so it's interesting. It's interesting to see all of this AI agentry and where it's going, because this is the major technical shift right now. And until we see another one, it's this is going to be how it goes. And the true masters, the true people who are making the millions of dollars out of AI, it's no longer the people simply prompting a mosaic image out of ChatGPT. It's the people clustering their iMacs. So, you have to consider these things, right? And like, if you ever did get a passion for this stuff, if you ever did fall in love with this stuff and want to get into it, what do you do? Where do you go? What do you start with, right? I mean, right now, like, honestly, you jump into the hot button subject. You jump into this AI agentry stuff. Literally, just go to OpenClaw and try to play around with it. Try to see what you can get it to do. That's the important stuff right now, because everything else is probably liable to go the way of the dodo bird. Well, we'll see. Well, until next week, fam.